Okay, everyone, hey, we are now going to do a really fun activity. We are going to debate what happened to Otzi. Did he get killed in battle? Did he get killed in a war or some sort of battle going on between two people groups? Or was he killed as human sacrifice? Because now you've watched that video, and that's the final video on Otzi. We have all the information. So, was he a human sacrifice or was he killed in a battle or in a war? We are going to debate that today as a class. All right?
So in order to do this, you'll have to break up into two different groups. So your teacher is going to number you off 1, 2, 1, 2. The ones will be on one half of the class, the twos will be on the other half of the class, and your teacher will assign you one of those two claims. And so we'll have the claims up on the screen, and you will be assigned one of those two claims after you've been divided up into two separate groups. So teachers, if you don't mind, please just counting the kids off and dividing them up so they can be into two separate groups. That would be great. Thank you.
All right, we're going to pause the video now. Go ahead and do that, and then play the video once you're ready to move on to the next step.
Okay, great. Now you're in two different groups. Group 1, your claim is going to be Otzi was in a fight or a war. You'll need to write that down. Otzi was in a fight or a war. That is your claim. Group 2, your claim is Otzi was a human sacrifice. You'll need to write that down. Now, in order to give you time to do that, we'll pause briefly, and you can go ahead and write that down on a piece of paper, on a whiteboard, whatever you have available. Write down your group's claim. Okay, great, teams. Now you know your claim. The end goal is to convince the entire group that your claim or thesis is correct. So the setup for this today is going to be just like you see on the screen. You will have 2 minutes to present to the class your group's claim and at least 3 pieces of evidence that support your claim. In ELA, we've been talking about how to get different pieces of evidence and how to look at experts and how to support your claim. So you will have 2 minutes, an opening 2 minutes. You're basically explaining your story. You're explaining your reasonings to support your claim. You have 2 minutes to do that. Then the other group will go. Group 2 will have the same 2 minutes to present their claim and their 3 pieces of evidence that they found through their research. We'll talk about that in a moment. Then it'll go back to group 1. Group 1 will get to say a rebuttal. A rebuttal is kind of an explanation to say, wait a minute, the other group, that's not quite right, or we don't agree with that, or here's why we don't think that will work for this. So you have a chance to come back and state your more information based upon what the other group says. You'll have only 1 minute for that, so you have to be kind of spot on and ready to go. And then the other group will have a chance to perform a rebuttal as well. And then you have to wrap it up. You have to do a conclusion. What is the final result? How are you going to draw that last little piece home? In English and in language arts, we've been talking about the order that we present things in. So what are you going to have for your final impact to your audience to say, we're right, our claim is right. We know that because, and we've shown you that because. How are you going to wrap that up for your team to say, for the whole class to be able to say, we did, our claim is correct.
Okay, great. So what you're going to do now is a 10-minute group huddle, okay? So Mrs. Danagelis just explained how this debate is going to line up. And if you notice right here, we added a 2-minute break time so that you can prepare your rebuttal statement after you give your claim and your evidences, because we want you to have some time to meet with your group again. But originally, you have 10 minutes right now. Your teacher will pause this video and you'll work for 10 minutes to do a few things, okay? First, you want to research information that supports your claim, okay? Be very creative. Some questions that I thought of right off the bat would be these. Interesting motives that might encourage someone to kill Otzi. Why was Otzi killed if your claim is that he was a human sacrifice, or even if he was in battle? What were the motives there? Why would people groups be in a war during that time period? Think about the time period that Otzi was alive. Do research on the Neolithic time period. That will really help you, especially when your teachers are listening. They'll be really impressed that you have facts from the Neolithic time period. And that's this one too. And then lastly, be creative. You can convince your audience. Okay, your teacher is going to be your judge. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And also, your classmates will be impressed, and they'll also be thinking, "Oh, what's the better side here?"
That's
Can I
right.
think to that?
I think that's pretty good. So that's a lot to do in 10 minutes. You'll have to maybe divide up and break up and decide who's going to look up what and research what. But you'll have those 10 minutes to gather your evidences for your claim.
Right. So, like we said before, you have 3 spokespersons: blue, red, and green, 1, 2, and 3. And we kind of divided up by color down here. The spokespersons must be the ones taking notes for the claims. So, spokesperson 1, you're the claim. Spokesperson 2, you're the rebuttal statement. Spokesperson 3, you're the conclusion. So, make sure you're taking notes and just make sure you're presenting the information clearly and use your time really wisely as a group. Work together, okay? Because that all plays into who's winning this debate.
Okay, have fun. It's going to be great.
All right, you guys can pause the video and get to work.
Wow, that was a good 10 minutes. I know you got a lot of things done and you've got your evidence for your claim. That's fantastic. So now we can start the process. Teachers, will you please lead the students through this setup that we have up here where one group presents, another group presents, they get a little bit of time for the rebuttal, then the other group can present the rebuttal, then another rebuttal, and then maybe if they need to have a conclusion time to work again for a little conclusion time, they can do that and then present their conclusions. So teachers, if you don't mind, please leading them through that when they are ready to go. We would appreciate that, and we look forward to hearing about these debates and how it turned out and which side won. Remember, it has, just like Ms. Richards said, it's not necessarily about even all the specific information, but how you present it. Are you clear? Are you logical? Have you put it in a good order? Have you made sense of your information? So be thinking of that while you present and while you gather your information, and we hope you have fun with this.
All
Have
right.
a great Friday. Bye-bye.
And have a great weekend.